All right. I think, yeah. Oh, kind of. Yes, maybe so. I believe we have sound. So, what I was going to do, let's see if everything's going to work with me now. Work with me, everything? Wait, guys. I had a plan. I believe it should work. See, had some technical difficulties today. It's been a great time trying to figure this out right now. Oh, that's what's having so many troubles. That. We're going to be incorporating this into the show. I'm not sure how well you guys can hear it. There we go. I think now I'm a cheat. Messed it up. Messed it up. Some above you on the day said, stop cooking for you. Best part about going live. Pure example. So, tomorrow's episode is going to be a little better. With technical difficulties, threw me off a little bit. But, anyways, welcome to 107. Fourth, fifth time. I think I've uploaded this link like 4 times. I'm really sorry, everybody. This is actually perfect. I kind of like having these really, really big imperfections. And even though I just had the biggest mess up we've had in 107 episodes, here's the deal. As things are brought up new, you want to improve on things you do, you're going to mess up. I keep preaching this like every other episode, maybe every episode, it can get repetitive, but I do it for this reason. It's going to happen, learn to deal with things. What I wanted to hit on is actually not really like it's lower down. It's part of my little spiel for today. But I wanted to talk about like learning how to grow with your environment. Originally, I had like, don't let your environment outgrow you. I wasn't sure what words I wanted to use when I wanted to talk about this topic. What I knew I wanted to do was talk about, when I think of learning to outgrow your environment or not letting your environment outgrow you, life is moving fast. And what I keep bringing up conversations or friends and I keep bringing back up, it's like, imagine if we were born just a few years before we were, or if we were born now, like the possibilities we'd have right now as kids. And it's like, it's crazy. Everything we have like access to our hands, everything I'm trying to teach myself nowadays, I'm trying to teach myself with other friends. We're all educating each other. It can be done through this. It can be done with this big laptop just right here. We have a lot of access to a lot of resources that lets us grow. And I try to always bring this up in topics. I don't mean to be repetitive. It's just something I really, truly believe in. So with that being said is, things will improve, things will change. And a lot of us don't like change. I've been there. I still here and there. I kind of am like right now, although I wasn't the biggest fan. I saw this whole scenario going way better with this sweet song. I will be playing it closer to the end again because sweet ass tune. I hope you guys could actually kind of hear it. But when talking about letting your environment grow, right now I'm like in a weird race, we'll call it, because I'm trying to start something that has been started, something that's been going on forever now, It's not my original idea. Doing a podcast is not, Julio came up with an idea. It's so original. Let's do it. The conversation, I feel like that's where you get your originality. But with doing a podcast, with it being something that's been going on for so long, I'm jumping into something that, people are doing well. People who are in different scenarios, can maybe start up faster. They're starting up lower. All I'm realizing is, what do I have? What do I have access to? When can I improve things? How can I improve things? So when I get an idea, I'm going to be willing to try. I keep telling you guys I'm more than willing to try. And obviously you just saw me do the biggest flub we had 4 or 5 times, maybe 6 times I tried. I tried to delete the other 2 on Facebook. I should here in a second. And unfortunately, I flubbed it because I was trying to give credit to Cully Bear. Shout out to him again. I was playing a really catchy tune in the beginning. It went so much better in that first take. And then I looked down, saw no volume. Great. Now what do I do? What do I got to adapt to? And I'm still seeing barely any bars for volume. So if you can't hear me that well, let me know. Otherwise, I'll have to download it, maybe redo this whole episode. If that comes to be, whatever. I'm more than happy redoing this. But, so you're going to be doing something, whether it's something you've always been doing, something new you're jumping into. I feel like you always got to be in the mindset that things will change. You always got to improve your ways. And obviously I keep talking about that. So with me always saying I want to improve the show, and I know sometimes it takes a long time till I finally do it, I'm comfortable showing you guys that, because I'm trying to make my own research. In that meantime, sometimes I am 100% wasting time. There's been a few times where I'll catch myself, I lost a few hours. I'm like, damn, could have really been productive. And then there's other times where I just dive right in. I'm just trying to be as productive as possible. So I'm trying to really be honest with myself and know when I'm being productive, when I'm not being productive. Is it okay that I'm not being productive right now? Or is it something I should really be jumping on, So with the way I think, and when I think about outgrowing my environment, or more or less, I don't ever want to outgrow my environment because I don't think I'm that smart. I can keep up with my environment. And that's why I went with the title, like, don't let your environment outgrow you, I'm in that sort of race versus trying to beat everybody. I'm trying to make sure that I'm a competitive person. Every single thing I've ever done, I've been wanting to be just good enough to where when I face people, whether they're way better than me, not as good as I am, I'm a good match for them. That's what I want to be. I just want to be someone who can bring you a good level of, I just even said it too. Now I just forgot it. I'll come back to it. But I want to compete well with you where you're going to feel challenged in a good way. And in the end, we can both learn from each other. That's what I want to bring, when I speak with anyone, when I'm doing anything. And I'm not even just saying that, say I'm 100% competitive person, but if we're doing something and we want to strive and always make it better, I'm down to have that like competitive mindset, because I want to see how well I can always do things. I want to see where I can improve, where I can grow as a person. I'm obviously done growing physically, and it's kind of why I goofed around with that picture. I know some things I can't outgrow, Some things will be taller than me, but I can find ways that I'm going to climb and hit that achievement. That's the way I look at things. Although I'm going to have that limitation of how tall I stand, there's people who will be able to reach for certain things that I can't. I will find a solution to make sure I can reach certain things, even if it means asking that other person. That's something, a random thought that just came in. But in that sense, I'm not saying I want people to do things for me, but I'll ask for help. Maybe the first time, few times to do it for me. And then based on watching them, I can see, oh, well, there's these things around me. Or next time I'm going to learn to do this challenge, I'm going to bring step ladder from, I don't know, somewhere. I'll go and buy a step ladder if I have to, But I like being honest with myself, and I like solving my own problems. Although at first, there can be times where I'm asking for help. There's going to be other times where I'm just going to be really stubborn and want to figure it out myself. I want to see that struggle. So in that sense, to me, curiosity is great. Curiosity will always be great. That is something I will always push forward, whether you're just trying to dabble in one industry. I believe curiosity is going to be great, because no matter what one industry you're using, you're going to use so many other set of skills. And although you can be going down this route, you might need these set of skills. So that's why I think curiosity is good. I like being involved in as many things as I can, but I'm bad at time management. That's something I've always talked about a lot. When I try to manage my time and I'm trying to make sure I'm being responsible, spending time with people I should be spending time with, their family, their loved ones. I have a wife who I'm not saying I have to spend time with to make it negative, but that being my wife, that's a partner I've chosen, and I want to spend time with them. But at the same time, I also want to grow as a person. So I am lucky to be in the perfect balance where I have both. I'm actually influenced to do both. But with that sense, I've now put myself in a good environment where I feel safe growing. And now it's up to me of how fast I want to grow with my environment. It's like letting your grass get too long. You can either just keep up with it. You can sometimes let it go a few weeks. You realize it's starting to get long. You mow it. It's fine. If you let it get too bad, you realize your mower is not going to do anything. It's going to keep dying. It's going to keep choking. It's too much inside of there. It can't spin fast enough. That to me is kind of like how you can treat life. So again, it goes back to no matter what you're doing, future is going to keep moving forward. The world's going to keep spinning. People are going to continue to be curious. So that's why, to me, curiosity has to be like something you got to be willing to do. because there's going to be a lot of skills you're going to be faced with, a lot of challenges. And the more curious you've been, the more used to you're being to having a challenge, to accepting a challenge. And where was I going with that thought? I'm sorry. With messing up the whole thing in the beginning, kind of threw me off just a little bit. I might decide to do this tomorrow. It's live right now. I might redo it tomorrow. You might hear the same spiel, a little better formatted, because I'm in a better frame of thought. Not that I'm mad. It's just going like, dang, wish it would have gone better. But yeah. Oh, right. I was talking about like the grass grow. Same thing, if you're in one industry and you get used to just doing things said way, and you do it and you do it and you start figuring out people are improving how they're doing things, and you're just stubborn, you're going to stay in said ways. I truly believe that's like the worst. I'm not right or wrong, but in my point of view, that's just a bad attitude to go about it. Not the worst attitude. Choosing the right words. I'm not trying to point fingers, not trying to say I'm right, I'm better in any sense. I'm not. You just saw me fail. I'm going to keep pointing out this big ass fail because it was great. I'm going to keep pointing out that I failed. Whatever. Content goes. But so if I decide to do this, and maybe I'll be like, oh, this is comfortable, just a mic like this. If I try to bring more people into it, I'm very limited to what I can do. And that's what you start doing. Once you let your environment start outgrowing you and you refuse to grow with it, there's going to be a lot of limitations you leave to yourself, and to me, I have to keep up with technology. If laptops get better, I know that certain equipment I need to be investing in. So that's the next thing I'm doing. I keep bringing it up because the more I bring it up, the more I'm going to push myself to do that goal. If I just say it once, that's all said and done. I've said it. I'm done with it. To me, I got to keep saying it till I actually do it. It's not just to say it, whatever. At least I said it. I want to make sure when I say things, and there's been times where I'll say I want to do something. Next thing you know, I decide I don't want to. That's okay. You don't realize what you got to stick your word to, but know how you're going to grow. With your environment too, learning to grow with your environment. I think one thing we all need to do is learn how we learn. To me, my tips on how to learn, figure out what's comfortable for you. Again, my mindset's changing. Everything, all the information I'm taking in, it helps me know that's how I can be a better teacher. That's how I can do things better for myself. I want to make sure I keep improving each and every single way. So with few conversations I've had with other people, whether they've come on the show, it being Kurt, pretty soon we're going to be having this wonderful woman named Heidi. I'm sorry, Heidi. I spaced for a second. It threw me off. But we're going to be having Heidi and Kurt coming by. They're going to be coming by this month. Now we're in April. Oh, it's April 1st. Awesome. This April, we have new people coming through. I'm really, really glad that this is doing as well as it is. Again, I just hope I don't flub when I have a guest. I'll feel really bad. But either way, if I flub with a guest, perfect. It'll be another example I can even come back to later on when it's okay to fail, because it's always okay to fail. Let's try to get over the failing part. But yeah, learning how you learn. One thing I've learned through teaching people is not all of us are going to catch said objective just in a linear way. Some of us are going to need to take a different way. Some are going to need different examples. It's up to us to learn how we learn. That's a new conversation I was talking when I had Cole. I'm just having a brain fart right now. I had Cole on yesterday, and I kind of brought up this point that I had a conversation with Heidi, and I really want to finish this conversation with Heidi, but I'm gonna just start it up a little bit. Learning how you learn. I've gotten comfortable to know how I learn, and now that I've switched to a new job, I'm learning again. I keep explaining to whoever's training me. They're like, yeah, you're doing all right in learning. You're doing stuff. Do you have any questions? I was like, hey, I'm just going to be honest with you. The first 2 days you work with me, I'm going to be a little quiet. I'm trying to focus on what you're saying. I'm trying to make sure I take in your examples. I'm getting a key locked down. I have a few questions, but by the third day, fourth day, I'm going to unload on questions. I'm going to really be going because I'm going to see how well I understand it, how well I've been paying attention, what things I need to pay attention to. And to me personally, that's how I learn. Sometimes it switches up. Sometimes I'll ask questions right away, depending on how much I'm understanding. But to me, I've realized I have a system where I'll stay a little quieter. I'll just listen. I'll be focusing on what they're saying, kind of repeating. I'll do like a job shadow. That to me is my technique. I know some other people are more for books. They like reading the information through books. I'm a physical learner, not a reading learner. So I have to be shown. And with that being said, again, we're all different on learning. You got to find your style and how to learn. With that sense, again, I should become a better reader and a learner in that sense, because there's a lot of information you can get through reading. There's some information that'll be left out when you're just physically learning, when someone else is just telling you the information. We all get a certain amount of comfortable. So we sometimes start assuming, oh, because I know this next person knows this, so we'll like skip stuff. That's why I brought up when I have some conversation with Gonzalo, I'll kind of ask him some obvious questions that I would know, because you guys don't know him. I want to make sure that you guys get the same sense. You guys get the stories that he shared with me and that I feel that are important that we share with each other. So I got to keep a mind of reference. So with that, I'm never going to force someone to learn a certain way. I will give you different avenues. If this doesn't work, well, I've maybe tried this way with this person, or myself, I had to do this thing. I think that's actually wonderful. When we were talking to Kurt, he was saying when you're seeking for help, maybe this program isn't going to help you personally, but if you spend time in this one, this is what's going to help you. And that's the same thing. It's just learning how we can help ourselves. That's the most important part, is not just learning to learn. I feel like in school, we were just taught how to linear learn. There's good and bad things with school. And with that being said, to me, linear school way was just books, was just trying to pile as much information to your brain as possible versus getting you active in the information. And that's the other part to learning. I think it's very important that once you learn how to learn, you also got to learn how to implement what you learned. Implement. I was trying to get the right pronunciation. I probably still slaughtered it. It's a day of failures today, guys. But learn how to apply what you learned, Learn to take information. Now take that information and apply it. That's been one of my best things, is I can take in most information and start having an understanding of how to apply it. And when I start applying it, as soon as I mess up, I'm asking questions, making sure to see what's the next best thing I can do to improve on how I apply. And make sure, again, you start applying. That's the most important thing when you're learning, is applying what you learned. If you just go down the loophole of just learning, that's all you're ever going to do is learn and keep saying. You got to start applying. You got to start being comfortable with being wrong, with messing up, Now that I had that big mess up, I'm trying to make sure I hit everything I kind of want to talk about. Yeah. And as you do that, as you keep growing with your environment, you're going to find out you have to adapt less. That's another big thing I've talked about, adapting to your environment. To me, adapting and keeping up with the environment is a whole different thing. Now, back to the whole grass scenario. If you let your front yard go too long, if you let everything go too long, now you got to start having to adapt. You're going to find a few more bugs. You're going to find other things. Maybe you can't let your dog on. Your dog's not comfortable going to the bathroom. There's a lot of factors that start coming in when things start to outgrow you, So you're going to get those limitations. We were talking about limitations, and that's actually it's perfect how I wrote it. So go back to how you learn, and then that way you're going to find your new better limits, not limitations that are holding you back, but new limitations that will take you forward. You want to find the opposite, find those positive things. And I'm really getting a lot of this mindset because I'm being influenced by all these people I'm meeting, Heidi, Kurt, Mike. I'm mainly pointing them out because, they would be what would be considered like the older generation. And some of them are just as educated as I am on Facebook. Then I meet other people who are around their age and they're like, man, I'm just too old for this game. And they'll talk negative about themselves, but realize you're not too old. You are not at a time that you can't learn. Unless you are just underground, you have no physical way of learning. As long as you're above ground, realize you have the ways to learn. You just got to know what's your best way to learn, what's your fastest way to learn, the pace you love learning at. And then you're going to be more up for learning. So to me, it's all got to be physical. To me, it's got to be finding examples. It's not reading at the moment. I know that's a skill I got to improve on. So I will find small steps to take each and every single day, try to do it, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a year. My nose itches. My dog's ear itches. But yeah, just make sure you guys are growing with your environment. Don't let it outgrow you. Don't be upset when you fall. Maybe your environment starts to outgrow you a little bit, but as long as it doesn't get out of hand, you're just going to be all right. And if it has started to be out of hand, or maybe you're starting in the point where it's out of hand and you're trying to improve your environment, you're still okay. You still have time. You will get it. Just keep reasons to be positive. It's Monday. Things will go right. Things will go wrong. It's still Monday. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Brand new day to get things completely right. That's going to be my ending message. Hope you guys have a wonderful one. And we're going to try to give this song one more listen because I really, really like it. And I'll watch. I'm going to fail hooking up the speaker. Just going to be one of those days. Oh, man. Did it work? Oh, we did. All thanks to Cullen. Cully Bear. Make sure you guys check him out on Facebook, SoundCloud. Really just look up Cully Bear. Cullen Wellman. Awesome guy. Creates some awesome tracks. When Tom kind of like the style I like, and he hooked me up with this. So I'll find a way to get it right with the show. But, oh, man, I just love this beat. And as I keep improving the show, that will actually be a full beginning. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully things actually turned out well. I'll have to go back, make sure to listen. If it failed, I'll just redo the episode. Things happen. Later, guys.